It's called a promo,
Shut
kid,
your
and
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it, so go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. I'm glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon.
All right. So you guys have no idea what we're doing right now, correct? You're going in this blind. I was like, you're going in blind.
This is like a blind playthrough of some shit.
All right, yeah. I was kind of just keeping it in the dark, so it'd be a little bit more fun that way. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're gonna do a little fun special episode. I got some Texas a themed attire, as you can tell, and that is because today we are going to be talking about Texas Wrestlemanias. Yes, Texas Wrestlemanias. There's been 4 of them, and we're gonna talk about them today. Some Texas boys.
All right,
let's go.
Get set up.
Oh, you're about to Van's about to be on his cowboy shit right now.
Right.
I had to pull out the JBL signed white cowboy hat. You know, that's always like the big flex. I figured, hey, why not? It's the Texas WrestleMania episode.
Give me a hell yeah!
Let's get it then, bro. Let's get it.
Right.
Now, I said, there's been 4 times WrestleMania has taken place in Texas. The first one wasn't even until WrestleMania 17, if you could believe it. They went 17 years without coming to the great state of Texas.
What?
Let's go. I'm going to pull this up on the side here. WrestleMania 17. We're going to look at what happened WrestleMania 17. I think we know the big one out the gate. The main event was Stone Cold and The Rock.
Of course.
Yeah, the legendary rivalry that happened, including with the video package. The greatest video package of all time.
The greatest video package of all time.
Yep.
You know, that it did define an era, and it definitely did put me on to new stuff on music. And when I saw that, never in my life was I more hyped. I think I remember that WrestleMania slowly for that video package. That's how important and big that video package was.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. That right there, it really set the tone and stuff. It's just like everything was just purely from start to finish. It was just telling you like the greatest match is about to happen, and this package right here tells everything. And especially with the Limp Bizkit music and stuff at the time, they were so popular. They were just at their peak and everything. So definitely it was just A1.
Give me a hell yeah!
Took place April 1st at the Reliant Astrodome. At the time, it was called the Reliant Astrodome in Houston, Texas. I'm going to get to the card in a second. I got to scroll down a little bit. But again, crazy to think that 17 years went by before they went to Texas. And the first place they went to was the Astrodome. It's a huge venue. So, it was a record-breaking attendance for them, which, again, attendance numbers, we don't actually know what the legit ones are anymore. But the number that's been tossed around at the time, it was 67,000, almost 68,000 people. A lot of people.
Yeah, that's a different time era, too. You can imagine that many people. I'm trying to picture it. Like if I was there. I didn't get to go, but it would have been awesome to see it live.
Yeah, there's like it's definitely kind of surreal with how big the dome is, and it's just like everybody. And mind you, at the different time, a lot of flashes.
Yeah, my favorite thing.
Flashes.
All the camera flashes.
That's my favorite.
Flashes. That's how dog. Like it makes the show good. All those flashes keep popping.
I wish we could get that back somehow, but it doesn't happen anymore. It was a special time and a special place and a special era. If you got to witness that, but it did make it. It made a huge difference.
Yeah, it definitely
it's
did.
like a whole aesthetic by itself. At the same time, maybe not the best for your eyes either. Being in a crowded
Yeah,
Astrodome full of flashing.
yeah. It's like, oh man, it's like it's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be seizures. Just seeing like somebody flying off the top rope or somebody on the ladder or stuff. It's just, ooh.
The first match on the card was the IC title match, Intercontinental title match between Chris Jericho and the WWF commissioner at the time, William Regal. They had a huge rivalry going on at the time, where Chris Jericho had even peed in William Regal's tea.
Yeah,
I remember that
Yep.
episode specifically for that.
yep.
Drink it in, man.
And then William Regal ends up drinking it, but he smells it. He's like, "Ugh." But then he takes a sip anyway.
Drink it in, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his room, because I remember like his room and stuff is just like all like UK and stuff. It just had this little table and everything. It's just so hilarious.
You just made
In the end, Chris Jericho hit the Lion Salt to win or to retain the IC title. Won by Lion Salt, not with the Walls of Jericho, which again, against William Regal, you would think it would end by submission or something.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Jericho was on fire around this time too. Like he was definitely going places.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, he was.
Just a couple months later, he'd become undisputed champion.
Yeah.
I think a year later, like he will beat Rock and Austin in one night.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. I think it's just a couple months after that. Like, I believe it was in 2001, in like the summer of 2001.
Sure?
Well, we're going to look it up right now. We can fact check it.
He's like, hold up, fact check it right now.
Yeah, why not?
2001, hold on, 2001, that would be like, of course, WrestleMania 17. I don't know,
He
WrestleMania
became the undisputed champion on December 9th, 2001 at the Vengeance pay-per-view. So at the end of that year, he would become the undisputed champion.
Drink it in, man.
Oh.
Good shit.
Okay.
That makes sense why it was a little bit confusing, because it's right around that timeline at the end of the year, beginning of the next.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was our second match on this WrestleMania 17 card? My boy Taz and the APA, shout out to APA, Bradshaw and Farouk. I'm wearing the JBL hat for this episode here now. Full circle moment. Took on Right to Censor, the Godfather, Val Venus, and Bull Butchin.
Okay.
This is the one where they. Hold on.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No. All I was gonna say wasn't this the one where they lost? Did they lose in this one?
The finish was Bradshaw hitting the clothesline from hell and pinning Godfather.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Because I want to say one thing. Right to Censor, the music is bank. Bumps in the whip.
Wow. Hot take. That is a hot take.
You gotta hear that alarm. You gotta hear that alarm in your speakers.
This was one of my favorite WrestleMania matches for two reasons. One, the hardcore title was on the main stage of WrestleMania, and two, so was Raven. So,
yeah, wasn't this Raven's first WrestleMania too?
Yeah, it was a triple threat hardcore match between Raven, Kane, and the Big Show for the hardcore title. I have it on the hardcore title DVD, and I've watched it about 20 times over. It's a great one. Raven came out with his shopping cart full of weapons. Classic Raven move.
Thank you.
And of course, the hardcore title scene, especially right around then, whenever it was 24/7 rules, everybody's holding it every other day. These matches were insane. There's people coming in and out and all kinds of shit going on. It goes backstage and all around.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Yeah, that was definitely the real 24/7 title. Because that's like you had to defend it at all times. Because like you never know who was gonna take that title from you, and especially it's like, dude, it's a hardcore rules, and it's like you're gonna get hit with something.
It meant a lot more back then too. I feel like the 24/7 title was just kind of a parody of it, because that was such a great time. But it was the hardcore rules that made it so fun too. Like,
yeah. It definitely was. It definitely was, man. It was prestigious too. They
Let me
made it
read you the
prestigious.
rundown of this match, and this match will probably culminate just a little bit, or it'll have just a little bit of that hardcore magic. During the match, the three wrestlers fought their way out of the ring and through the crowd into the backstage area. Big Show tried to lock himself, Raven, and the referee in a security cage, but Kane broke the padlock and afterward threw Raven through a glass window. Nice. Big Show and Kane continued to brawl, ending with the two throwing each other through a wall. Yes, I said through a wall. Raven tried to escape by driving off in a golf cart, but Big Show stopped him and caused him to crash. The golf cart also ran over some cords that allegedly almost knocked the power out of the building. Kane shortly followed with another golf cart, Kane driving a golf cart, if you could picture it, accompanied by the referee, and ran into Raven. The fight headed back into the stadium with Big Show attempting to press slam Raven off the entrance stage, but both were kicked off it by Kane. Kane followed this with a diving leg drop off the stage onto Big Show, pinning him to become the new hardcore champion.
Yeah.
Damn,
That was a hell of a match.
That was at the time when Kane was like big. He was like, you could check out his freaking arms and stuff. It's like, dog, he was a tank. Kane was a freaking tank back then.
That the one where he's wearing the tank top version, Flames, around that time? That's my favorite version. That's my favorite version of Kane.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was really peak Kane before he got like injured and stuff.
My favorite is like 2003 through 2010 Kane when he's got the mask off and he's just got no care in the world. Like that unmasked Kane does a lot of cool shit too. Intercontinental champion, world heavyweight champion. First of all, he's not even that great of a guy though. I don't know how we got on a Kane kick. In real life, he's not that great.
Speaking of Kane, he was at one of my high school friends on Facebook was at the meet and greet where Kane was, like the same place where Hardy Boys was.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's Kane and Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
So he got a picture with Kane. Kane was wearing like the freaking mask and a wig over there.
And his probably like regular civilian clothes.
No, he wasn't even regular. He was just like shirt, sweatpants, mask, wig, boom.
Stop. All right, back on WrestleMania. The fourth match at WrestleMania 17 was for the WWF European Championship, an underrated title design in my opinion. Match between Test and Eddie Guerrero. Test and Eddie Guerrero. I don't remember this match.
Yeah, I don't remember either. That's like because that European Championship was really underrated, and it's just like, damn. Like I know
third title.
Let's see. I'm going to read the rundown and see. During the match, Test went over the top rope but got his foot caught between the top two ropes, forcing the referee and Guerrero to have to untangle him. With the help of his fellow Radicals members, shout out to Radicals, I love that group, Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn, Guerrero hit Test in the face with the European Championship belt while the referee was distracted and pinned him to become the new champion. We love it. I wish I had brought the Eddie Guerrero title for Texas Day. This would have been great. I could have had the Eddie Guerrero title on me. Yeah. That bitch is heavy though. That title is too damn heavy. If anybody has the Eddie Guerrero replica championship, they know what I'm talking about. It's a good weight.
Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Man,
Amen.
This team is underrated too.
Yes.
Team.
Yeah. No. Fifth match was Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. These two have like some of the best chemistry.
Their in-ring chemistry was definitely complete. It was really real graps.
Yeah.
Like talk about technical wrestling is those two.
Definitely. I would say those two guys, you want to see who's the best between these two guys. Like, who's the better? Like, they both have that alpha, I'm the best, no, I'm the best. And they're like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this on the biggest stage of them all. See who's the realest.
They've had the only known Ultimate Submission match in WWE. Very rare stipulation. Also, they had that amazing match at the Royal Rumble, and I'm trying to remember if it was the Royal Rumble before this WrestleMania or the one the year after. I can't remember.
My guess, that might be the year after. Well, actually, no, it's probably before. It's probably before. I think because they had a few. They had a few that was going on before the WrestleMania.
Oh wow, it was actually a couple years. It was at the 2003 Royal Rumble, which that makes sense. So it was at the 2003 Royal Rumble when they did that. It was a couple years after.
Oh,
They
because they
wrestled
were
each other a
tag team
lot.
champions. They were tag team champions at one point. I forgot.
Let's see. We'll read this rundown too, and every time I read these match rundowns, it gives us all the answers we need.
Yeah.
The match started with the mat wrestling between the two, but Angle soon punched Benoit out of frustration and threw him out of the ring so he could throw him into the broadcast table and the steel steps. Wow. Because how could Kurt Angle get out wrestled by Chris Benoit if he's an Olympic champion? I love in-ring storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the ring, both men tried to submit their opponent using the other's signature hold, with Benoit using the ankle lock on Angle and Angle using the crippler crossface on Benoit. Benoit eventually succeeded into forcing Angle to tap out to the crippler crossface, but the referee was knocked down and did not see it. Classic pro wrestling shit. Near the end of the match, Benoit tried to pin Angle after a diving headbutt, but was met with a 2 count. Angle then quickly rolled up Benoit using the tights for leverage to win the match. That sneaky snake. Damn.
Yeah. That's one thing I like about. That's one thing I like about like with stories like that, like who's like the better wrestler and stuff. It's like you can't out wrestle me, all that shit. That's like, dude, that really that's money right there. You got two of the best wrestlers. In-ring psychology is like on point. And like you're gonna have like those two at the biggest stage of them all. That's like that's captivated could be like a match of the year.
Banger after banger.
They had such great chemistry, I swear.
Thank you.
Now, the following match saw Chyna challenge the WWF Women's Champion Ivory. That's our girl. After an early bit of offense from Ivory, Chyna performed a Chyna bomb and looked to have the pinfall, but picked Ivory up after the 2 count. Chyna then performed a gorilla press drop and nonchalantly pinned Ivory to win the Women's Championship. Damn. He just squashed her.
That was a dominant, one-sided.
She beat her, picked her up, and finished her.
Damn. Damn. That was squash. At WrestleMania? Jeez.
WrestleMania 17, Houston, H-Town.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hey, Screwston.
We screwed up.
Nope.
She screwed Ivory up, that's for sure.
Right.
The
Yeah.
7th match was the street fight between Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon, with Mick Foley as the special guest referee.
Man, this match.
Shane dominated his father during the earlier part of this match by attacking him with various weapons such as a kendo stick and monitors from the Spanish broadcast table. Why has it always got to be the Spanish broadcast table?
You know it's always going to be them. They're the ones that got to
Carlos
take.
Cabrera has seen too much shit.
I mean, that Spanish announce table has a family. Okay.
They have family.
What?
Poor Carlos. Carlos is sitting there like, yeah, I'm not keeping any of my personal belongings on this desk.
But this bitch is getting on my nerves.
Shane laid Vince on said table and performed a diving elbow drop off the top rope, but his sister, Stephanie, pulled Vince out of the way, causing Shane to crash through it. Wow.
Yep, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Trish Stratus came towards the ring, pushing Linda McMahon out on the wheelchair, if any of this sounds familiar.
I remember this one too.
And then slapped Vince.
Yeah.
Causing her and Stephanie to get into a fight that led them out of the stadium. As referee Foley tried to wheel Linda out to safety, Vince hit him with a steel chair and then pulled Linda into the ring to make her watch as he beat down Shane with a garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
However, Linda stood up and low blowed Vince, allowing Foley to recover and attack him. With Vince prone in the corner, Shane placed a garbage can in front of Vinny's face and hit a coast-to-coast dropkick, pinning his dad to win the match. She could walk.
Shot.
It was the pop. He got a huge pop.
Yeah. One thing, the shot when Shane McMahon hit that coast to coast, the shot when he hit that shit was brutal.
Man, it's first of all, them all, them all. But going back to the storyline, it's one of the most talked about storylines because, like, they literally had Linda McMahon in a wheelchair watching her husband do terrible things, and we're all just like, yeah, this is hilarious television, not understanding like dude's actually a sick excuse my language, like just damn.
Nah, I get you because like that man is just a creep, just a gooner, a gooner. But like in the ring, outside the ring, that's just like, come on.
You just made the list.
We can move on to something better. The 8th match was TLC number 2, and that's always a great thing. TLC series.
Tables, ladders, chairs.
Oh my.
For the WWF Tag Team Championships between the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys. If you didn't already know that part, I'm informing you now.
Great. Is that could be like the greatest TLC matches in wrestling history?
And it's kind of debatable because, you know, they've had so many great ones, but they didn't have so many great ones unless they had these. Like, you had those because of this. So,
acknowledge me.
And this one was in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Give me a hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, respective associates of each tag team: Spike Dudley for the Dudley Boys, Rhino for Edge and Christian, and Lita for the Hardy Boys. She's that much of a trailblazer. Interfered during the match, and that's one of my favorite things about this match that separates it from the ones before it. Was like you saw more people getting involved in it. You saw Rhino spearing people through tables and Spike Dudley flying through the air. We know Spike Dudley can fly through the air.
Yeah, it's like a crash test dummy.
Seeing Lita get in there and mix it up with the guys and be like, I'm the one.
Mm-hmm. She could take those bumps too. Yeah. She was like a soldier.
I am the one, or more so, I'm not the one. She
ain't like the rest of the girls. She ain't like the rest of the girls. She could take me.
I won't get stuck up on it too much, but if Chyna could have been the IC champion, why couldn't Lita hold the IC title one time or the hardcore title?
What's up with that?
Yeah, that's one thing. It's just like that's like rare. It's rare, like the women holding the men's titles.
I'm glad they have their own Intercontinental Championship now. On that note,
give me a hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Spike, who had just taken a chair shot to the head from Lita, and Rhino, who had already been dispatched by Jeff Hardy, both laying on 2 tables outside the ring. Jeff Hardy set up a huge ladder beside them and performed a swanton bomb onto them through the tables, with most of his body landing on Spike, taking him out of the match. Lita was taken out of the match when Bubba and Devon performed a 3D on her. Like you said, she could take those bombs. Jeff tried to unhook the belts, but had the ladder beneath him pulled away by Bubba Ray, leaving him hanging in the air and allowing Edge to jump off another ladder and spear Jeff to the ground at a height of 12 feet. And going back to what we were saying about the cameras flashing, this is one of the most camera flashing moments of all time.
The iconic spot.
They don't make it like that anymore. Bubba Ray and Matt Hardy climbed to the same ladder, but Rhino tipped the ladder over, sending Bubba Ray and Matt through 4 stacked tables at ringside and taking them out of the match. Devon then set the ladder up again and attempted to grab the titles, but was held back by Edge. With Edge holding on to Devon's legs, Christian sat on Rhino's shoulders as he climbed up the ladder and unhooked the belts, making him and Edge the new tag team champions. Oh, I love this stat. A total of 9 tables were destroyed in this match, and every performer involved except Devon and Lita went through at least 1 table.
Wow. Damn.
Just a random fact they added onto there, and I love that.
I remember there was I don't know if it was an interview or a documentary that I remember watching them talking about this match and how they were all trying to come up with the ideas of how, especially that ladder spot, which I believe Bubba was specifically for the ladder spot to be the final thing. The table was the final spot, and there was like a whole argument about it because I want to say Edge and Christian wanted the table spot, Hardy's, and I think Jeff and Bubba wanted the ladder spot. And how to make it happen, they said that was like a whole trying to get to the spot to make that happen was crazy. Till they figured out, like Jeff was the one that was like, if we do like a pendulum swing, like if you have me holding on, y'all could move the ladder, set it up for the next spot, which was the table spot, while all that was happening and it would distract you with him and Edge setting up for, was it Matt? Yeah, Matt was on the table. That goes to the table, right? I think at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just how the way it was like just set up.
Mm-hmm. It was crazy. It was very innovative, bro. If you think about it, for the first, not the first time, but like trying to make all that happen. It was, especially for its time, it's pretty innovative and dope.
Yeah.
The match following that, the ninth match, was just it was a gimmick battle royal, which the Iron Sheik won by throwing Hillbilly Jim out, and then Sergeant Slaughter came back in and put him in the Cobra Clutch, which I didn't think was necessary to do. It had Mean Gene Okerlund, rest in peace, and Bobby the Brain Heenan, rest in peace, on commentary for that match. And that's some, I feel like not a lot of people will remember happening, but if you were there, you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. It was the time they did commentary, Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mean Gene together.
Give me a hell yeah.
What you think, Mean Gene?
Mean Gene.
The match following that, the 10th match, which co-main event in some senses, this is kind of a match that like not a lot of people remember happening on WrestleMania 17 because of all the other big shit, the TLC 2 match, the Rock Austin main event that follows this, but Triple H and The Undertaker had an amazing WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 17. And also, this is when we see Triple H the first time have Motorhead perform his theme song live, which was a huge moment. It was like one of the best WrestleMania performances of all time by a band.
Yeah, the interest is, mind you, that stage, the WrestleMania 17 stage, was just long as hell. It was really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like, with Triple H walking down, and especially Undertaker riding his motorcycle all the way down to the ring and stuff. It's just like, damn.
This first
like, the aura of those entrances was just like over the top.
And it starts off with them fighting outside the ring, and this first sentence is about to drive y'all mad, going back to the Spanish table. So it starts outside the ring, and Triple H quickly gets put through the replacement Spanish announce table that they had put together. Yeah. They had a replacement table for him, and then Triple H gets put through that.
Yeah, again.
They can't catch a break. They cannot catch a break.
Like, ay, híjole, ¿por qué?
Later on, referee Mike Chioda accidentally had Triple H catapulted into him, and then was then attacked by The Undertaker due to his dissatisfaction over a 2 count. With Chioda knocked out, which he was taking some bumps in this match, the two brawled outside the ring, through the crowd, and into the technical area. On top of scaffolding, Triple H used a steel chair to attack The Undertaker's legs, but The Undertaker retaliated with a choke slam off the scaffolding.
Yeah,
followed by the diving elbow drop. He was man. It's no wonder he had so many surgeries. He was taking some heavy ass spots,
some nasty ass bumps that he was taking.
Man, that WrestleMania streak came with some prices.
Yeah.
Where was that? I lost. Back in the ring, Undertaker hit Triple H with a tombstone pile driver and went for the pin, but Chioda was still unconscious, still out. He's still out. Later in the match, Triple H tried to pin The Undertaker after hitting him in the head with a sledgehammer while in the last ride position, but only gained a 2 count. Triple H sent The Undertaker into the corner and stood on the second rope to hit him with more punches. Then, Undertaker countered with the last ride, allowing him to pin Triple H and increase his streak to 9-0. That was win number 9.
Now, that was the fact that match right there. It kind of led to them running it back together a few more times at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they've had some amazing WrestleMania matches, and the streak has like a ton of great matches tied to it. But I feel like this is one people just don't really remember because it came on a WrestleMania where a lot of other big shit happened.
They didn't remember it until like several years later.
Oh, you didn't know?
To start to acknowledge it.
Acknowledge me.
Like, remember that time Triple H got choke slammed off the scaffolding and Undertaker jumped off? No, I don't. I don't remember it.
No, I don't remember that.
It happened.
I remember Austin and The Rock.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
Give me a hell yeah.
Now, they had a WrestleMania main event match 2 years before this and 2 years after this. This was the second one, the middle one, but this is probably one of the best ones all time. One of the best WrestleMania main events of all time because it comes with a lot. The breakdown of this match is going to be a long spiel because a lot of shit happens in this match.
Ooh, this was pretty peak. Both of these guys were at their peak primes.
Yeah. You better buckle up, Teddy. I'm talking 2001 Disturbed theme song, Stone Cold.
Oh, personally, my favorite. Ugh.
Same.
Yeah.
I took a bite of beef jerky before this match because I know it's about to be a long one.
I was about to say, bro. I was like, we eat? What you eat?
Hey, this match right here, we eat. Hey, look, Texas. Hey, look, it's in Houston, Texas. We eating good.
Yeah.
I know we're like a whole other season away from it too, but the fact that we're getting an all-in, something just as big, if not a little bit bigger than WrestleMania, depending on like what scale you're judging that, that's really cool. Like buckle up, Teddy. We really eating. We about to get a 7-star match right in the backyard, right in the back.
Yes, sir.
You can walk from the barbecue to the arena.
Give me a hell yeah.
That's as Texas as it gets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put some stank on that. Some stank on that.
Back in Houston, 2001, main event, WWF title match, Rock, Stone Cold, which had a surprise no DQ stipulation added to it. Just before the wrestlers came out, during the match, they brawled inside, outside the ring, both men bleeding after hitting each other with the ring bell, very loud ring bell spots. The Rock attempted to place Austin in the sharpshooter hold, but Austin reversed it into a sharpshooter of his own. Bret Hart was nowhere to be seen during this occurrence. After The Rock reached the ropes to force a break, Austin applied the $1 Million Dream, a submission hold best known from his former gimmick, the Ringmaster. A little callback for you.
Callback. Woo!
Shortly after, The Rock used Austin's own finishing maneuver on Austin by executing a stunner. Vince McMahon then came to ringside to observe the match. When The Rock tried to pin Austin after the People's Elbow, McMahon seized The Rock's leg and pulled him off Austin, breaking the pin attempt. Huge what the moment.
What?
The reaction.
After chasing McMahon around the ring, Austin responded by using The Rock's signature move, the Rock Bottom, hitting his finisher move on him.
What?
That was a whole crazy thing in of itself, them using each other's finishers.
Yup, that's exactly what I was thinking myself.
That's one thing that makes the match good. They're performing each other's finishers. So I was like, dog, like had the whole crowd going crazy and shit. It's just like, damn. It's like how can they take themselves out?
Mm-hmm. And then The Rock hits a rock bottom, gets a near fall, huge pop when the false finish happens. After The Rock had attacked McMahon, he was given a stunner by Austin, another near fall, another huge pop. The Rock kicked out of the stunner. McMahon handed Austin a steel chair to hit The Rock with at Austin's request, revealing that Austin had sided with Mr. McMahon. A huge, again, what the moment. A man he was considered his nemesis, like the biggest nemesis of all time. Austin turning heel, joining McMahon. And then he attacked The Rock with the steel chair, hitting him 16 times. 16 times he hits The Rock with the chair before pinning him and becoming the new champion.
Jeez.
It's one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time.
Yeah, that finish right there, man, that was just like a heel turn you never thought that you would never see it coming. You never see it coming because like Austin and stuff, it was like the biggest heel turn on the biggest stage on the mall. And just like siding with Mr. McMahon right there, that was just like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, I personally didn't like that take growing up as a child.
Why? You son of a bitch! Why? You're shaking hands with the devil himself.
He demolished him with that chair. The show ends with Austin and McMahon shaking hands, sharing beers, and it's like the sight you never thought you'd see. Again, that's makes it one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time.
God.
I'd say this WrestleMania probably in the top 10 of best WrestleManias, and it was Texas's first WrestleMania. I'm really proud of that fact. But again, crazy it took 17 years for them to get to Texas, come to Houston. They don't come back until WrestleMania 25. And where do they say we're going to do it? Back in Houston, Texas again.
The 25th
Dallas still not
anniversary.
getting one. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man. The 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. My God.
Yeah. Made it 25 years and only went to Houston twice. But still, were you guys really into wrestling around this time? I know I was like super into wrestling around this time because I was still in middle school.
I was, because WrestleMania 25, that was like 2010? 2009 or 2010?
Yeah, it was.
I was in
I'll
high
get the year
school.
for you.
Drink it in, man.
I believe it was 2009 though. 2010. No, it was 2009.
Okay. Yeah. I was in high school. Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school. Oh,
You
shit.
said, wait, 2009? Like 09?
Yeah.
Mhm.
09.
Holy shit. Yeah. I was a senior at that time. So I graduated around that time.
Get the F out.
I actually just learned something I didn't know too. Getting into it, I was, of course, pulling the card up, and I didn't know that there was some dark matches before the event was aired live. One of which was the tag team champions Carlito and Primo, the Clones, going against John Morrison and The Miz in a lumberjack match.
That's cool.
I forgot about the colognes. Shoot. What the
I didn't even know about him, period.
Dude, I loved, excuse me, I loved the Colognes a lot. Of course, I loved Carlito, and I thought Primo was really underrated as a wrestler himself. And then when they started doing this, and they had, of course, the tag team titles unified, which right here is apparently where they unified it. Now I'm starting to remember it was like a winner takes all match, and that's when they unified them. I loved them like always defending all four of the belts together, and that was right before they a couple years later turned them into the little penny belts. The opener match, and I missed this. I like that it of course has its own pay-per-view now and it's such a big deal, but I miss when Money in the Bank was on WrestleMania, and especially opening up WrestleMania with Money in the Bank.
Yeah, like I grew, because like the first like Money in the Bank ladder match happened in WrestleMania in Los Angeles and stuff, and like it
Wonder
was a
what?
pretty cool. It was a pretty cool concept. I like
Yeah.
it.
This one starts off with, let's see, who's in the CM Punk, we know for sure. Kane, Mark Henry, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston, Christian, and Finley. That's a good
A
lineup.
lot.
That's a great lineup.
That's a lot. A lot of people in there.
The match was littered with many notable moments, including a series of the match combatants performing dives onto the floor of the arena onto each other, as well as Benjamin diving off the top of a ladder with a senton bomb onto his opponents. He hit that spot a couple times, and I can every time I read that or like think about it, I can vision it in my head. It's like the most
Shelton,
iconic Shelton Benjamin spot.
here's one thing about Benjamin is like he's underrated when it comes to the Money in the Bank ladder matches because he can go off. Like from the first Money in the Bank ladder match that he was
Hmm.
on, and then like, dude, like that man should have been Money in the Bank because like he was pulling off shit that was like you never thought that would work with the iconic ladder spot that he did. He run
Yeah,
up on the ladder and then he did a flip. I'm like, bruh, who is this dude?
this is an absolute great segue to talk about another competitor who shined in this Money in the Bank, who ended up shining in so many more Money in the Banks. That's because Shelton Benjamin walked so Kofi Kingston could run. Kofi
Yes,
Kingston,
sir.
this is when we see him hit the boom drop onto the ladders, and like he goes on to make some iconic Money in the Bank moments for years after. But this was one of his
Yeah,
best Money in the Banks.
Thank you.
love it. I love it.
The finish came with Punk and Kane on top of the ladder, which saw Punk execute a series of kicks on Kane from atop the ladder, knocking him off. Punk went on to win the match after he grabbed the hanging briefcase, marking it his second consecutive Money in the Bank victory. He won it 24 and 25 back to back.
Yep, definitely did.
I
This
don't know why
news.
this is news to you.
Hell yeah, bro! Because I wasn't in wrestling around this time.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Because
buckle up, Teddy.
Buckle up.
Punk was definitely like a main event type of level before the pipe bomb. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I think he won both Money in the Bank briefcases as a babyface and cashed them in to become a heel. Like him cashing them in turned him heel because he cashed in on Jeff Hardy. I think the first time was like on Orton. I don't remember the first one. I can't get caught on that.
I think it was on Edge. I think he cashed
The
in on
first one was
Edge.
Edge. I
Yeah,
can remember the first one. After that Money in the Bank match, Kid Rock performed a live medley of songs. Had a whole Kid Rock concert real quick.
What the?
And during the last song, all the female competitors of WWE came out to do the 25 woman diva battle royal to crown Miss Wrestlemania, which featured all the great women of wrestling at that time, and also Santino Marella posing as his sister Santina Marella, and that's who would go on to win it.
What in the blue boogaloo?
I'm showing
that was a dark time in the women's division, was it?
Santina Marella down in the corner. We just got little Santina, Miss Wrestlemania.
God.
What the heck?
Yeah,
You telling me that was real?
Yeah,
real
it was
thing.
real. I'm glad you missed that. Jeff. I'm glad you missed that on that time. That point. That was the women's division was falling off.
It was because I was thinking, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He brought all the women in wrestling, and then he mentions that one little segment, and I was like, what?
Now, during this time, also the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke came out, so this next match was kind of like a big promotional match for that. The Wrestler, which I've never actually seen, little confessional, I've never seen it, but essentially the premise of The Wrestler is like an old, tired, beat-up wrestler, and using this to promote this movie on WWE TV, Mickey Rourke and Chris Jericho got into a program, and it had Chris Jericho facing my boy Ricky Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka, and Roddy Piper in a 3-on-1 handicap match, which Jericho won, making Snuka tap to the walls of Jericho. But after the match, the big moment here is Mickey Rourke comes in to the aid of all the legends, and he ends up punching Chris Jericho in the face, knocking him out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mickey Rourke
Yeah.
is actually a boxer before he was an actor, if I'm not mistaken. Mickey Rourke has like actual boxing experience.
I see him in like few movies and stuff back then because he was young. He was young as hell.
The match following that, this had a great build up. We covered it on a Through the Table where we were going over WrestleMania brothers. Every 15 years, there's a match at WrestleMania with brothers facing off against each other. Brett, Owen, Jeff, and Matt right here, and then the Usos. This one had probably the best build up, the best storyline going into it because, Matt turned heel. He burned down Jeff's house, actually just using Jeff's house burning down as a thing in a storyline.
That's a storyline, yeah. And then
it was crazy.
It was like, the car, I think was the car wreck part of it too? Because I think I remember there was like footage of like.
I know he put his pyro off and tried to set him on fire and then burn his house down. And there was all kinds of shit he did.
In kayfabe, did he murder his dog in kayfabe too?
Yeah, in kayfabe. Like, rest in peace to Jack, Jeff Hardy's dog. He actually did die in the house fire.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But that match got him to an Extreme Rules match at WrestleMania 25, which is a great Extreme Rules match. We see Jeff Hardy do a lot of shit to his brother.
But this bitch is getting on my nerves.
In the finish of the match, we get Jeff Hardy hitting the Twist of Fate or Matt Hardy hitting Jeff Hardy with the Twist of Fate with the chair around his neck.
Yeah. Damaged.
Damaged.
Of
course, ladders had to take place in the ring as well. But
yeah.
They brought a ladder, and then they should have just made it a ladder match with like somebody's house title being up there. Like, Jeff wins, you get a new house.
Yeah.
What would happen if you lose? What's the stipulation?
You're homeless? I don't know. You're going back to Dad's.
You're already
going back to Pops.
What's the
you gotta lose something more.
Like, damn.
Losers got to move back to Dad's basement.
Loser moves back in with Dad.
Their dad's in there and is like trying to, get some, cramping my style, son. Anyway.
So,
back to this. The singles match for the IC title was next. Rey Mysterio, JBL. He signed this hat, so we're rooting for him now.
Oh my God.
Damn. Wow. Damn.
This one's not a quick one. Yeah, this is kind of a huge upset. JBL attacks Mysterio before the match for a couple seconds, but once the referee started the match, Mysterio hits him with a quick 619 and pins him and wins the IC title in like 22 seconds.
Damn.
After the fact, JBL grabbed a microphone and he quit live. He quit the WWE live right there. And that was his last active singles match for quite some time.
Get the F out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Says, I think Ray was has his Intercontinental title run. It was kind of rare. It was really rare, though.
It was a great time, and he had a great T-shirt at the time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big one, the big kahuna, like probably what's regarded as like the best WrestleMania match of all time. I argue that the one following it the year after was better, but it's up to like the viewer at that point. This is Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25, the Heaven versus Hell entrances. Probably one of Shawn Michaels' best entrances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Born
somebody
again.
who I need. I need the HBK autograph on the Texas hat.
Give me a hell yeah.
Now that's something I would be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Something that needs to be like, that's the goal.
That's cool.
Now, this breakdown of this match literally has 4 paragraphs to it. That's how in depth this match gets. All that said, I'm not going to give you the whole breakdown. You can go back and watch Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 if you want to. Because again, it's one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. The cameraman, rest in peace, getting knocked the out during that. It's probably one of my favorite spots. We see Shawn Michaels wrestle like it's 1995 again.
Yeah, because like both of those guys, they were hitting there like they were wrestling like rent was really due, and like they're like in their 40s or 50s, whatever, and it's just like, God, they're wrestling like they don't even care.
Ew, it's one of the best WrestleMania matches for sure. And
One thing I need to say is like, uh, back in Royal Rumble 2007 when the last two people was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels,
yeah,
and they were just duking it out, and what we didn't know, they were gonna fight, they were gonna wrestle at WrestleMania and stuff. That's something that we didn't even know. They
yeah, the
gave it to
seeds were
us.
being planted like 2 years before. That's one of my favorite Royal Rumbles of all time. I thought
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels was going to win it. Like, Shawn Michaels was my guy at that time. He was my number one guy. I thought he was about to win the Rumble.
yeah, it was. Yeah, man, Shawn Michaels was in his bag at that year, especially the Undertaker also.
Yeah. Going back to this, what's crazy about, again, it has like a 4-paragraph breakdown of how much shit happens in this match. Even all that said, what's crazy to me to this day is this match does not have a 5-star rating by anybody's count. Like, anybody who had a reputable source to, rate something at this time, nobody gave it 5 stars. And yet, again, it's said to be one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time.
That's bullshit.
That's kind of crazy hearing that.
That's really bullshit. That's like five. That's a 5-star banger all day because
Yeah.
that's just like dog. Like the in-ring psychology was just like there was levels to it.
Looks like we've had
Yeah.
enough talk.
And the false finishes, at the time, false finishes weren't something we saw every so often. Like, when you saw a false finish, it was in a really big match, and there's like 3 or 4 in this match. It's so great that now in the WWE game, they have, of course, like 2009 Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. If you run that match back, it'll give you sequences of like hitting the sweet chin music and having to crawl over to your opponent. It will play that match out because it's just that great of a match. So everything's bigger in Texas is the theme of this note here. Everything's bigger.
Everything is bigger.
And
both of these guys are from Texas too. That's the thing. It's like, yo, that's the best place.
it's nothing I'm really noting on any WrestleManias. This is probably the only Hall of Fame induction class that I'll note, because this also is just a bunch of Texas people. This is probably one of my favorite Hall of Fame classes, the 2009 one. It was my boy Terry Funk and Dory Funk. Both the Funks got inducted in the Hall of Fame this year, as did Cowboy Bill Watts, Howard Finkel, Coco Beware, the Von Erich family. Kevin Von Erich accepted it on behalf of the entire Von Erich family. And then, just side, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was in this one, and I love Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
And then it was main evented by Stone Cold getting inducted. So, like, a huge Texas class inducted into this Texas WrestleMania, the 25th anniversary.
That's good. I'm impressed.
A good lineup, good Hall of Fame lineup right there.
Absolutely was. For Texas, and everything's bigger in Texas.
Nope.
All right. The last match of the event was the WWE title match. Triple H, Randy Orton, something we were probably going to need to get used to a lot around this time.
The build up before this. Jeez.
It was they did some shit in the build up to this.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was intense. Homes were broken into, handcuffs were placed, demeaning things were it was just a bad scene.
Yeah.
And which was worse, Triple H and Randy Orton building up to WrestleMania 25 or Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy? I think Matt and Jeff probably took the cake on the build up to WrestleMania 25. A man's home was burned down.
homes burned out, his dog died. It's like
Yeah.
I think that one was kind of messed up.
Oh, your home got broken into. Mine got burned down with my dog inside.
Ruthless aggression.
Yeah, you definitely won
Dang.
that one. I would
Yeah.
definitely put it that way. Yeah, you won.
Mm.
Nope.
As a pre-match stipulation by Vicky Guerrero, if Triple H had been disqualified or had been counted out during the match, he would have lost the title to Orton. The champion had his signature weapon, the sledgehammer, in hand only to relinquish it prior to entering the ring by throwing it through a glass wall. Early in the match, Triple H did everything in his power to hurt Orton without being disqualified in the process. He was really pushing the line. Orton performed a back body drop to Triple H on the Spanish announce table. Poor guy.
Poor announcer.
Equally.
Won't catch a break.
At one point, Orton threw Triple H to a turnbuckle where the referee was standing, causing him to collide and knock the referee out. After executing an RKO onto Triple H, Orton tried to gain more advantage and went out to the ring to pick up Triple H's sledgehammer. As Orton made his way back to the ring, Triple H delivered a punt kick to Orton, giving him a taste of his own medicine there. Triple H took his sledgehammer from Orton, hit him, and then executed the pedigree to retain the WWE title.
Thank you.
And then he did the whole thing at the end of the show.
Acknowledge me.
So, whatever
Okay.
do you mean by the
I didn't read the aftermath reception shit from WrestleMania 17 because it was all like, yes, this is amazing, this is great, this is awesome. But this one has a little bit of juice to it. I like this. WrestleMania 25 received mixed reviews from various sources. Gordon Holmes of Comcast criticized the mini concert by Kid Rock, stating that Kid Rock gets 10 minutes and The Miz and Morrison don't. Blasphemy. Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also criticized the 25 Divas Battle Royal, which was a bit of a mess. We didn't even get proper introductions for returning divas like Sunny, Molly Holly, and Tori Wilson. Yeah, it's pretty if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was not received well other than Undertaker and Shawn Michaels for being amazing. And that's it. And again, everyone said it was amazing. 10 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 from Wade Keller. Nobody said, hey, it's a 5-star match.
Nope.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Jeez.
Looks like we've had enough talk.
I'm actually shocked on some of these because I never saw that WrestleMania. I remember the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, whether it's the oh my god moments or top moments in wrestling, like I want to say like a DVD or Netflix at the time, Netflix when they had WWE's. This is before the deal when you would see random documentaries or biographies of wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
I swear I've seen that. 'Cause that's why I was like, I know about that match, and I did see it here with not too long, a couple of months ago back. Just rewatched it for that match because my roommate was such a huge fan of Shawn Michaels, and he was like, "Bro, you got to watch this match." It was like one night we just wanted to watch some good wrestling, and he's like, "Let's watch the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels WrestleMania match." And like I said, did not disappoint. I'm just shocked that you said it did not get a 5-star match. I'm actually pretty shocked about that.
Yeah, into my
I was surprised. I was like, damn, like this is a banger. This is like really like a great match, but it didn't rate a 5 stars. Like, really?
Now, the one that would follow at WrestleMania 26, I feel like was better just for the fact that Shawn Michaels had to not only put his career up on the line to get it, but he had to like push Undertaker to the edge to even accept it or consider it. And the story is just phenomenal. But in the ring, I guess 25 is better, and both should have 6 stars, in my opinion. Both matches need to have 6 stars on them.
They were taking like nasty bumps, especially the cameraman. The cameraman bump.
Oh no!
Oh god! I was ugly.
On that note, though, in this episode, there's only 1 star that matters, and it's the Lone Star. And we're moving WrestleMania from 25 to 32 from Houston to Arlington, Texas.
Wasn't there another match on WrestleMania 25? Like John Cena was in that card.
So,
Yeah, how did we miss John Cena then?
It was John Cena versus Edge versus Big Show for the World Heavyweight title,
That's
right?
right. I do remember that. And when I went down this list, it went from uh, the Hall of Fame to the main event. Let's go. I'll pull it back up for you.
That's pretty impressive. Mike out here with the fact checking. He was like, "Wait a minute, we're
I
not just
saw
gonna
his finger.
breeze through that."
Like, wait a
I
minute.
saw his finger
wait,
go up, and I was like, "Damn, he got his finger up. I know he's got something good."
I was like, hold on,
Hold
wait a
on.
minute. Like,
Match: Mysterio, JBL, Michaels, Undertaker, and then there it is. It was after Michaels and Undertaker before the Hall of Fame. But the Michaels and Undertaker paragraph was so long, I didn't even see it.
damn.
It was all just words at that
That's how
point.
good it was. It's like shit.
So the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match was 3 paragraphs long, and then the other paragraph, the 4th one, is for this World Heavyweight title triple threat between Edge, Big Show, and John Cena. Now, myself personally, I'll touch on this. John Cena and Edge from 2006 on, everything they did was magic to me. Those two in the ring is just magic. Yeah, they're why I love this business.
Dog, this feud, Cena versus Edge feud, really took it. It definitely made Raw entertaining at that time frame, because they were Edge came to John Cena's home,
slapped
his dad and shit.
Yep.
Which was dog.
That was some of the most intense shit.
Yeah, it's just come on, dude. And Edge and Lita had their thing going on in the ring and stuff.
Yeah, they were both the world champions at the time. That's what was great about it. They were holding world titles. Before that rivalry, I liked wrestling. Before that rivalry, yeah, I liked wrestling. And then after that, that's when I loved this shit. That's what made me love this shit.
Yeah.
And after that, of course, rivalries don't last forever, but they do kind of integrate throughout the years back and forth with each other. And they would see each other a little bit. And every time it'd be a thing of man, Edge really hates John Cena. He really hates John Cena. And this led into this. The Big Show was led into it because him and Edge and Big Show had a thing going on. It wasn't the best build-up at the same time. It was one of those things where we were all into it at that time.
Drink it in, man.
Edge, Big Show, and John Cena, who entered through an aisle of lookalikes to start the match. This is John Cena's entrance when he has a bunch of lookalikes.
Oh, down the ramp?
Yeah.
Doing the whole salute?
Vicky Guerrero was brought out to ringside in a wheelchair by Chavo Guerrero due to her emotional investment in both Edge and Big Show. And that's what I was talking about. Edge and Big Show had a whole thing going on. And it was over Vicky Guerrero. And
I vaguely remember this.
The action began with brawling and some early teamwork from Big Show and Edge before their alliance crumbled. The match spilled to the outside, seeing Edge spear Big Show through the guardrail. Cena returned Edge to the ring before applying the STF, before Big Show came to his senses and broke up the action, leading Cena and Edge teaming up to remove Big Show from the equation before turning on each other, because that couldn't last long. Cena won the match by lifting both Big Show and Edge at the same exact time and set up the attitude adjustment on Big Show, then dropping Edge onto Big Show with the same move before pinning him to win his second World Heavyweight Championship.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yep, it's definitely on the greatest oh my god moments on WWE, because I remember that specific spot when they showed that moment.
Now, we can comfortably move on to WrestleMania 32.
Give me a hell yeah.
So we go from 25 to 32. We go from Houston to Arlington.
Give me a hell yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you were at this one, right?
Yep, Agtown, bro. This is when I wasn't back into wrestling, but when I heard it came to town and it was WrestleMania, this was always my bucket list to do as a child. And I remember it was on April 3rd, my boy Mike's birthday, and also my boy Adam's birthday. And as a gift, I bought him a ticket, me and Jamie, to go watch WrestleMania in Arlington, and I didn't regret it. Granted, I didn't know half the roster now that I know, it's crazy now. When you're gonna list it off, I'm gonna be like, wow, I didn't even know it was a treat. I was only there mainly because I knew Stone Cold was wrestling, and I had a feeling that maybe I was gonna see the Undertaker, and I was hyped for that. It was a loaded roster full of surprises, and being there was crazy, especially when the Undertaker's music hit. It still gives me chills, and I still think about it to this day.
This was and they said this was the largest attendance. It was like 102,000. Nobody thinks that's true still to this day. But regardless, it was the AT&T Stadium held a lot of people, and I was really really into wrestling at this time as well. Like I am a lot of times, but I was super into Dean Ambrose at the time, and I loved that he was going to have a street fight with Brock Lesnar. That was something that I was really looking forward to. Looking back, like this was a great WrestleMania, but it had so much criticism to it for many reasons, and I don't have to agree with those reasons myself. Just
Buckle up, Teddy.
Let's break it down. Let's get into it.
okay. Pre-show matches. Kickoff show had, let's see, Kalisto defending the U.S. title against Ryback, and Kalisto won after executing the Salida del Sol. And Ryback had collided with an exposed turnbuckle. We don't talk about him here.
We don't talk.
Second pre-show match, 10-woman tag team match. Pitted team Total Divas, Alicia Fox, Brie Bella, Eva Marie, Natalia, and Paige against Team Bad and Blonde, Emma, Lana, Naomi, Summer Rae, and Tamina. Bella won the match for the team Total Divas by making Naomi submit to the Yes Lock. Nikki Bella, who was inactive due to neck injury, came out to celebrate with their sister and the rest of the team. And I remember this was a big moment because it was Brie Bella's retirement match. This was when she was retiring, so that's why it was such a big deal.
Okay, I vaguely do. It's crazy now that you mentioned that whole lineup. I was like, wow, I didn't know I got to see all of them before I even knew them. Like, It's crazy now to think about it. That's crazy. Okay, keep going.
The next moment on the pre-show is covered because it was a big pivotal moment. Of course, like this is around the time we see the women's evolution, women's revolution starting to take hold. And we had a big triple threat for the Divas title between Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks later. And that was like, of course, the future of this company. But during the kickoff show, Lita introduced the new WWE Women's Championship, which would then go on to be the Raw Women's title. But at that time was the sole Women's Championship, and it was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get on to who wins that later. But if you didn't already know,
so I could use a refresher.
Finally, on the kickoff, the Usos defeated the Dudley Boys in a tag team match, performing a double super kick on Devon. After the match, the Usos performed Samoan splashes through tables onto the Dudley Boys, or through the door. How I feel like that's not written correctly. Through the Dudley Boys through the tables.
What?
Through the Dudley Boys through the tables.
Yeah, on the Dudley Boys through the tables would probably be the best. But no, they said through the tables on the Dudley Boys, and that would be implying that they went through the tables first. That's not how that went. That's not how it can go.
It's still real to me, damn it!
All right. The first one, big one. This is a huge moment for this man's personal career and just for WrestleMania, period. Open up with a ladder match, not a Money in the Bank ladder match. We changed it the year before. Now we're having big Intercontinental title ladder matches. This match saw Stardust, Zack Ryder, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, The Miz, and Dolph Ziggler as the participants. Stardust used a black ladder with yellow polka dots to tribute his late father, Dusty Rhodes, but that ladder was disposed of by Owens. Big heel shit. So Owens throws away the Dusty Rhodes ladder. It's kind of ridiculous. Mid-match, Ziggler executed a series of super kicks while Ryder performed an elbow drop off the ladder onto Miz. In the climax, Owens powerbombed Ziggler off a ladder, then caused Sin Cara to fall off a ladder onto Stardust, who was lying on a ladder bridged between the ring apron and barricade. Owens' rival Zayn took out Owens with a half and half suplex onto a ladder and was in turn incapacitated by The Miz. Premature celebrations by The Miz allowed Ryder to shove him off a ladder and retrieve the belt to win the match. Post-match, Ryder's father joined Ryder in the ring for a celebration. It was a huge moment for Zack Ryder.
Woo, woo, woo.
Next, Chris Jericho took on AJ Styles. After an evenly contested match, which saw Styles kick out of Jericho's codebreaker and Jericho kick out of Styles' Clash, Jericho hid behind the referee and countered Styles' phenomenal forearm into a midair codebreaker to win the match. That was a great match, I remember. Jericho and Styles.
This is wild. I can't believe I saw an AJ Styles match live. That's crazy.
It was a great one. It was his first WrestleMania match, and he goes on, to talk about it later in interviews and such. Is like huge feeling going out into that arena full of people and just having chills all down his spine and his arms. And
Drink it in, man.
I can only imagine. Especially for someone like AJ Styles, who's been doing it as long as he has, for that to be his first WrestleMania and it be that big.
Mm-hmm.
After that, WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day, entered by coming out of a huge Bootio cereal box wearing Dragon Ball Z inspired attire. I loved this entrance.
Thank you.
They then
First time being exposed to them, and I never understood. I remember at the merch stand, like every Bootio, anything New Day was sold out. Like, and I couldn't get no merch that day. I was trying to find some type of merch, and I was like, I don't know who these New Days are, but these Bootio shirts look awesome, and they were like sold out everywhere I went.
We always say, we don't just set the bar.
Yeah, they were mad over at the time. In this match, they're defending against League of Nations, which was Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, and Rusev. In a six-man tag team match with King Barrett at ringside. The League of Nations won the match following a bullhammer by Barrett to Woods when the referee was distracted and a brogue kick by Sheamus on Woods. After the match, Barrett bragged that no three men could beat the League of Nations. WWE Hall of Famers Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and Stone Cold Steve Austin then came down and cleared the ring of the League of Nations. Austin performed a stunner on Woods, who had tried to persuade the Hall of Famers to dance with them. He sells that Stone Cold stunner so well. Xavier Woods does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next match, again, I was super excited for this going in. I remember because Dean Ambrose was my guy. A no-holds-barred street fight between Brock Lesnar, accompanied by Heyman, and Dean Ambrose. And I want to make a note here. I've tried over the years so many times to get a shirt, like the same shirt that Dean Ambrose was wearing at this event. It was a Suplex City shirt with the Dean Ambrose logo spray painted over it. I cannot find that shirt anywhere. It's one of the hardest shirts I've ever tried to find.
I'll be on the lookout now for that.
Little side note there. Mike always finds like insane shirts. I'm surprised Mike hasn't already pulled one somewhere.
Right? I was like, he usually finds the cool vintage stuff or stuff that is not even in the US, or he's like, oh, I got this in the UK, or I got this somewhere else.
Acknowledge me.
I would say like I have a Brock shirt and like a Suplex City shirt. I think I got it from Hot Topic.
I have the Chicago edition one, but the one I'm trying to find, or have been for all these years, was the one Dean Ambrose wore at WrestleMania 32. It's Suplex City with Dean Ambrose's logo painted over it. I was like, that's such a sick shirt. I need it.
One thing I know, it's we talk about the New Day stuff. I have the Bootios box. I have the shirt in the box.
Nice.
Like, mind you, I'm still a New Day mark to this day. Like, especially that whole Biggie stuff that's happened. But around that time, like, the New Day, they were like, dude, they were at their peak. Like, not just tag team champions, but like with merch and everything that they done. I was like,
mad over.
Bro, that's what I was telling you. That was my first introductions to the New Day, was at that WrestleMania, when I was like, who are these guys? And why are they dressed up as my favorite DBZ characters? Okay, this is different. And I went to go try to buy merch, but like I was telling Josh, I was like, bro, that shit was sold out. Like, I couldn't find nothing.
I got the Booyah shirt. I got this shirt from like they were like selling out, and there were like a few more. I ended up snatching them, like right
Yeah.
after. So
Had
I was
to.
lucky as hell to get those. I was like,
Now,
I need this. And the fact that I always like every time I wear the Bootio shirt, it's just like in public. It's just like, especially in cons, they just looked at me. It's like, oh my god, it's Bootios, and I even carry the box with it, and I carry the cereal box.
love
Yes,
that.
man.
Love that. I
I
get
was
that
like,
reaction with the little Jimmy shirt too. When people see the little Jimmy shirt, they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen that in a minute."
yeah, that was just like best time.
Give me a hell
On the no holds barred street fight, though, Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose loved the shirt. What I don't love about this match actually comes with a lot of like bad blood to it. Apparently, looking back on it, we didn't know any of it, but Dean Ambrose had a lot of creative ideas for the match that Brock Lesnar didn't care to hear, and there was no like real agreement on what they would do. So they went out there. Dean Ambrose like hit Brock Lesnar with everything, but inevitably, Ambrose he brings in a barbed wire baseball bat. Lesnar delivers German suplex F5 onto a pile of chairs and wins. And afterwards, he sprays Dean Ambrose with a fire extinguisher, which also wasn't planned. This kind of looking back, this is the reason why a lot of people think Dean Ambrose left, why Jon Moxley left. I mean, there's a series of things, and I've read his book. I know a lot of what happened and why, but I can see where this is where he started kind of getting like, all right, he's hard to work with. It's hard to do this. And I don't know that I agree with that. And it's not just because I'm biased, but I hate that one of my favorite WrestleMania matches is kind of tainted with the like, nobody was really actually agreeing on what they wanted to do here. And it could have been a much better match if a conversation could have been had.
That's one thing about that, because with that match, it's just like, dude, like I was expecting like some hardcore shit in that match, but behind the scenes and stuff, it's just like Rock don't want to be like, don't want to take all this stuff, and just like it's kind of like just half-assed the match. It's just like it was just kind of like it just kind of failed the expectations that we were thinking we were going to see.
He didn't want to do business. He didn't want to respect business. Respect the business.
And the business was also progressing. We're getting to our women's triple threat now, and this was like where the women's revolution really it culminated up to this, and from this point just rocketed into what we have as women's wrestling today. And it was an amazing triple threat for the first women's title since they changed it to the Divas title. I remember going into this match, I was heavy on Becky Lynch winning it, but I was like, Sasha Banks has to win it. This is Sasha Banks' title to win. And of course, it ends up being Charlotte who wins this one in a phenomenal triple threat. Can't say it enough.
I want Sasha to win. I'm not gonna lie, but it was just like the popular vote for it with Charlotte and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And look at everything that's happened since that triple threat. But all those women have shined in one way or another since then in ways that like only icons do. Like Becky Lynch when she hit the man, Charlotte being as what will be a 16-time champion. Let's just call it now. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her, and she's done things that women have strived to do for years, and that's go all over the world with their craft and wrestle the best there is on every continent.
Mm-hmm. I like the way you put that. That was great. That was a great way of putting it on.
It all started with a triple threat in Texas. One Texas triple threat.
I was gonna say it's stuff with like before like it went over the car and stuff, and my mic like shut down on me. But I was gonna say with WrestleMania 32, I was coming to Arlington in our backyard and stuff, and it landed on my birthday. It was just like it's the best birthday freaking gift. And it's just, like before that, the NXT takeover Dallas that happened too. And I was there too.
Man, NXT was popping at that time too. Oh my gosh.
That was my taste of NXT and stuff. That was just like I got into NXT because of Takeover Dallas. But,
wow.
Yeah, because like because with WrestleMania and stuff, they actually, I mean, they were bringing the heat, but NXT brought the heat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, I was like, dog, that's like 2-for-1 wrestling show. Dude, I need it.
WrestleMania was like all the the main ingredients up on the stove, but then the fire underneath heating it all up was NXT. It's what's cooking all that good shit on the stove.
Yeah, and that was the night when Shinsuke Nakamura first came in.
Oh, man, I'm gonna cry. Sheds a tear.
Looking back at that, it's like my friend, like he bought me tickets for WrestleMania, but I bought him tickets for NXT Takeover for weeks. It's kind of like
Love that.
Get off.
I love that. That's friendship.
Yep.
This next match came with some controversy. It was a great build-up. I remember the moment when Shane came back. They were like going to announce an award for Stephanie, or maybe Vince was going to give it to himself. It was like a trophy in name of his father, Vincent Sr. And Shane came and blew the whole thing up, and the crowd pop was massive. Shane came back, and he wanted control of the company. Vince said to do so, you got to face somebody of my choosing at a time of my choosing, and he picked The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match.
Oh man, seeing a Hell in a Cell match in person, dude.
I've never actually.
I gotta witness that. That was crazy.
Like the first time, like seeing like in person, it's just like holy shit. It's just like seeing like the cell, seeing the cell in person, just so big.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, and it's a great Hell in a Cell match where we see Shane McMahon do crazy Shane McMahon shit, including fly off that thing through an announce table. And man, I can only imagine being there live. That's a jealous moment for sure.
Oh yeah, even the gong in the arena. When that shit, dude, everybody in the whole arena started losing their shit.
There was something I'll never forget. That one, it literally gave me chills. I was like, "Holy shit, that aura is real."
Yeah. Well, when you feel it in person, that's a whole different story. I was like, "Yo, like we're seeing Undertaker."
Yeah, I was gonna say, for any man that stood in that ring when Undertaker was coming out, I could understand the gulp. Like, holy shit, I'm literally about to go against the Phenom, the Mr. Streak himself, as he's walking down. But that aura and the music, the fans going crazy. I was like, that was real. Talking about it got
real
right now.
It's like, holy shit.
What was cool about that at the time, too, was, of course, streak broken at WrestleMania 30. At WrestleMania 31, we go back and watch the Last Ride documentary to find this out, but The Undertaker really didn't feel like he could do it anymore, and Bray Wyatt brought that out of him. Winning over Bray Wyatt at 31 is what propelled him to be able to have another Hell in a Cell match, and it delivered. I don't think anybody expected Shane to win, but there was a question because, like, well, what happens if Shane loses? And then he ends up getting control of SmackDown. The whole thing comes out of it. But I'm really jealous that you guys get to have those memories of that match because all I remember is watching it on television.
And that was like the first WrestleMania in Arlington too. And that's AT&T Stadium, Jerry Jones World. But it's just like, dude, this is like we're eating this in front of our faces.
I'll never forget it. Knock it off my bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to cool people down, and like a lot of cool people in there. DDP, Tatanka, Shaq was in there.
Yeah,
that you guys got to see Shaq in the Battle Royal, but the winner of it was NXT call-up Baron Corbin. I remember Corbin came in, won it, and that was his big, call-up moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lot of people expected Kane to win this at this time. It was like a thing they thought they were just going to give to Kane, and they're like, nope, no, Baron Corbin.
He's up and coming.
After that, The Rock made a grand entrance with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. And he came out with that big flamethrower.
Came out with big ass flamethrower stuff. It just light up his name.
Yeah. Set a big sign with his name ablaze. Man, And then that's when he announced the 101,000 people that were all there. Did it feel like there were 100,000 people there? I can only imagine that amount of people, it all feels like a million.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and look up the Cowboys seats? Like how many seats are held in there by some chance, if you can? Because I used to work at the Cowboy Stadium, and now when you say that, I feel like looking back at it, I don't think there was 100. Maybe like 80. Like maybe I felt like it was like maybe like 70 something, like maybe 79 ish.
It says the Cowboy Stadium has a seating capacity of 80,000, but with larger events, it could hold up to 100,000 people, which again, wrestling shows you have the floor seats, and that accounts for a whole lot more seating. So they could get it up to 100,000. And I feel like WWE read that same statistic I did, looked at that and said, oh, so they're saying you can. We're going to say we did.
Yeah.
Because some people say the actual number was like, I think 82,000 or 83,000.
That's what I remember it being in the 80s. That's why I said it felt like maybe 70, but 80. I remember 82. Because I remember we were all popping, and I just told Jamie, I was like, can't you believe that we're in the history books with this? That we were at this live attendance.
Out of this too, we got like a quick random match between The Rock and Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan just has this one WrestleMania match with The Rock. By the book.
My family coming out.
This set a new WrestleMania record for the shortest match, beating the previous record, 11 seconds, set by Kane and Chavo Guerrero for the ECW title. I remember that one. Damn.
Ooh,
and then, of course, who could forget Daniel Bryan losing in 18 seconds to Sheamus, losing the World Heavyweight title at that. That was like some of WWE's worst times, was Sheamus winning the Rumble, opening WrestleMania to win the World Heavyweight title in like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
You for real? That happened?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yo, I thought y'all were just like pulling my leg for a second. I was like, 18 seconds? Daniel? We're talking about Daniel Bryan. I know him as Bryan Daniels.
Daniel Bryan, yes.
And he lost in 18 seconds
to Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yo.
I mean, and then just 1 year before that, him and Sheamus had this like bad thing going. A year before that, they had a U.S. title match scheduled, and they ended up kicking him off of WrestleMania, and it was a dark match. Like, it was a dark time. It was a bad time.
Yo, that's crazy. Whatever. That's crazy.
Now, the main event of this WrestleMania, because we still got one other WrestleMania we have to go over. The main event of this WrestleMania, Triple H defended the World Heavyweight title against Roman Reigns, and that's because this year, leading up to this, the WWE title was on the line in the Royal Rumble. It was a random, we're going to put the WWE title on the line in the Rumble, and Dean Ambrose almost won it, but was last eliminated by Triple H, so they could set up this whole Roman versus Triple H WrestleMania main event.
Holy crap, I saw Roman too. Damn.
Yeah, and this would be
it's the big.
So Dean Ambrose, all I was missing was a Seth, and I would have had my bingo card filled.
Yeah, the year before we had the year before Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, the main event of 31, and of course Seth Rollins walked out of that the winner. But this was the second match of Roman's long-standing WrestleMania main event streak that is still going on to this day. This might be the first year, WrestleMania 41, that we don't see Roman Reigns main event of WrestleMania, and that's kind of crazy. He could have won a straight 10 years.
He could have. He could. It was almost there.
Yeah. He wins the WWE title in this WrestleMania, and this was the last WrestleMania where we had one single world title still. This was right before the dawning of the Universal title. So this was the last time we see it. Not a lot of people liked it. A lot of people booed and said it was not worth a WrestleMania main event.
Nah, I was kind of like, to be honest, it was just like, what the f*** are we seeing? It's just like we knew who was gonna win, but it's just like, dog, come on.
But this bitch is getting on my nerves.
Now, the next one, this one's a great one. This one's a big one for many reasons. And again, I'm jealous you guys got to be there live for WrestleMania 38. But for me, it holds a special place because I I fell out of a period of watching wrestling again. There's a lot going on in life. I didn't feel like it was something important to me. Alyssa, my girlfriend, she came into my life and she really got me back into it in many senses, reminded me how much I love it. And we kind of were casually into it around 2022. We started watching. That's when we started watching AEW because I still kept an ear to the street. I knew about what was going on. It had only been like a year and a half that I hadn't been watching. We watched WrestleMania 38. We're like, hey, it's WrestleMania. Let's watch this. And that's when Cody Rhodes came out at WrestleMania 38. That's when I was like, I'm back in. I'm all in on this. And we were at the Raw after WrestleMania the next night, seeing Cody Rhodes, make his famous, like, I'm going to finish the story speech, which looking back, I had no idea that was such a big moment now that it is. So this is a great one to me because wrestling in the middle wouldn't exist if it wasn't for WrestleMania 38. That's how we got here.
Wow. Lore. Okay.
This is how we got here.
Wow.
Cody Rhodes and WrestleMania 38 and Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this. For me, I did not go to this WrestleMania. Let me tell you why. Because at that time, WWE, like, I wasn't really feeling what direction they were going, to be honest. Because it was just like they weren't getting my money's worth on it. But I went to other stuff during that WrestleMania weekend. Like, me and Jeff, we went to the first Supercard of Honor.
Yeah.
When Tony Khan first bought ROH, we went over there. And it was a fun time.
I could imagine.
I was about to say, I didn't attend this one, Josh. I attended the last one. I didn't attend this one, but I did watch it. And I went to also, besides that, I also went to WrestleCon where I did run into a lot of the WWE / AEW / New Japan / indie promotion almost, and anyone that was someone.
Got you. I thought you guys had been at this one live as well, being it was, backyard and it was a huge moment.
Nah.
I was at that point. Mike got me back into wrestling. This is now when my wrestling journey, I'm brushing it off. Mike's putting me on. If it wasn't for Mike, I wouldn't have gotten back into wrestling. And he's the one that put me on, especially with ROH. I know this is a WrestleMania topic, but I'm just saying.
I know, but me and Mike, we love Ring of Honor. I feel like Mike shares my enthusiasm for ROH and its rich history.
We even got the DVDs over there and stuff that day. It was just so worth it. It was just like worth the rich of history.
Yeah, I'm glad I was there. Gotta love that moment.
No, for me, again, I didn't get to be at this WrestleMania. I've never been to a WrestleMania. None of the 4 Texas WrestleManias fell into my category of going, but I did get to go to the Raw afterwards, and that was actually my first Raw at all. I'd only been to like house shows before then, so it was a huge like culture shock from what I had seen before, but still huge, like, monumental. It set the precedent for what the rest of what we're at today now is. The opening match, though, this takes me back a little bit. This one was like, going back to what Mike said, the direction was kind of questionable. The opening was the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. And during the match, Boogs got like legit hurt. He hurt his knee during this match. Got like a bad knee injury out of this match.
I remember the Rick Boobs thing, and I was just like, this guy is sick. But I do remember seeing that, I think, because I remember I did watch that WrestleMania, I think, at my house. So, like, we had a house party kind of watch. And I remember seeing that. I was like, yo, is that scripted? Because first I thought it was kayfabe, like a work. And I was like, no, I think that dude really injured himself.
It's still real to me, damn it.
The next match after that was Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin, another gimmick I hated.
Happy Corbin. Holy.
Yeah.
I heard about him a lot.
I was really not rocking with that.
Remembering now reading this was the moment when he stopped Madcap Moss from entering the ring by swinging his sword. And he sliced the top and middle ring ropes in the process. He was like, with his big ass sword. The next note I read, I was like, "Oh no!" And I'm questioning if I'm gonna say it out loud. I might. I already brought it up. Next, WWE executive Stephanie McMahon came out and thanked the fans in attendance. She then introduced WWE's newest signee, Olympic gold medalist.
Get the
I should have just said name redacted.
I forgot about that. Oh,
We beeped it
man.
out.
I don't remember
beeped it
that
out.
person in my wrestling. Who's that?
Never heard of him.
Olympic, Olympic is popular in the Olympic and stuff, but it's just the the whole stuff behind the scenes. That's just
that's a
there's
through the table topic. That's through the table topic.
That's right. He's doing this.
We don't
stage.
Josh, you got a rule.
we already got the name bleeped out on that one.
Great
In
acting.
the fourth match, Becky Lynch, we love her, defended the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. About 1 minute into the match, Lynch performed a manhandle slam on Belair for a near fall. I thought she was going to win right there. That would have been insane.
We don't want that repeat from SummerSlam.
During the match, Lynch applied the disarm her on Belair, who reached the ring ropes to avoid the submission. In the climax, Lynch performed a manhandle slam on Belair on top of the steel stairs. Lynch then entered the ring, hoping for a count-out victory. However, Belair managed to enter the ring at the last second. Lynch attempted the manhandle slam again, but Belair countered by kicking off the middle turnbuckle and performed the kiss of death on Lynch to win the title. And hey, she was predicted to win that match for a reason, because Bianca Belair she's always been seen as like a top star. I don't know what's happened since then. She's put in like the mid-card conversation now, but that's not up to me.
Here's one thing. I love Bianca Belair. Like what she brings to the table and stuff, she's really good. Like she makes her own gear, got her own stuff, and like she's really like a natural, like in ring and stuff. And I love her. Oh, one thing, I love her entrance. It's like straight marching band and stuff performing her theme music. It was just like
it gets me so hyped.
I was like, yes. She's black.
It gets me the most hyped.
I need it. But yeah. She's like one of my favorites.
Didn't she have a little girl with her coming out to that WrestleMania?
That was
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that was at the WrestleMania in like 39.
I thought it was Hollywood. Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
Yeah, remember.
Now, the next one is the big one, because again, this is the moment that like changed the course of history in my mind. Seth freaking Rollins comes out, got a match against an opponent who was supposed to be pre-selected by Mr. McMahon. It was kind of the build-up of like, how does Seth Rollins not have a WrestleMania match? He needs an opponent, and Mr. McMahon has just the guy low-key behind the scenes. He's actually flying his helicopter to Cody Rhodes' house. After Rollins waited impatiently, former All Elite Wrestling wrestler Cody Rhodes made his return to WWE as Rollins' opponent. Rhodes last performed in WWE in 2016 under the gimmick of Stardust, going back to WrestleMania 32 when we had last seen him. It was a back-and-forth match. Rollins performed the pedigree on Rhodes for a near fall. Rhodes performed the crossroads on Rollins for a near fall. In the end, 2 crossroads, a bionic elbow as a tribute to Dusty Rhodes, and a third crossroads. Rollins loses, Cody wins, and we set out to finish the story. And I can't stress it enough. Like, that moment changed so much for everything in my life.
One thing about that one, the crowd went ballistic when Cody Rhodes.
Did you expect it? Who expected that?
He came on, and so it was like, yo.
What do we want to talk about?
Were you on the internet around that time? Like, I wasn't really on the internet talking with fans anymore at that time, so I don't know if people knew or not. It was a big shock to me.
I was just kind of scrolling through and stuff, but it was just kind of like just rumors. It was rumors and stuff, because at the time, like, Cody left AEW with like little explanation and stuff, but it was just like backstage, like behind the scenes stuff that's kind of happened.
Noted. I was always curious about that. I was like, how much did people know? And because they try to keep things a secret, but you really can't anymore unless you really try. Like, unless it's Hardy Boys WrestleMania 33 level, keep it on lock. Like, the Hardys had to lie and say, like, yep, we out of here. We're taking a picture at the airport. They had to lie their ass off to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying that. They were trying to keep that shit a secret as much as possible.
Now, the second to last match on this WrestleMania Saturday, I forgot about. It's Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey, which a lot of people at this time were starting to turn and be like, Ronda Rousey's not that great. It's just not what we thought she would be.
Oh, man. Ronda, I forgot. I think was that like Ronda Rousey's, that was her last year wrestling? I can't remember what.
It might have been.
She leave?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she left after around that time. Like, maybe not right here, but after the SummerSlam of 22.
Oh, yeah, because she was feuding with Shayna Baszler, I think. And then she left.
Yeah, she was just getting a lot of bad rep online. And I think she left, though, not because of that, but because she wanted to, of course, have a child. And that was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's out here momming. But I forgot she had this WrestleMania match with Charlotte, and she ended up losing to Charlotte, which ended her undefeated streak in singles matches. Nobody had beat her in a singles match up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Main event of night one is one of the matches everybody talks about from this event. Kevin Owens came out to host a special edition of the KO show with special guest Stone Cold, but like everybody kind of knew leading up to this, no, we're going to see them fight. And it did. It ended up being a no-holds-barred match, which was Austin's first match since his retirement in WrestleMania 19. So,
Yep.
It was a big deal.
It was really a big deal.
That match is just phenomenal. Like, Kevin Owens does a great job of doing his job of what he's supposed to. Stone Cold doesn't do more than he has to, but still looks like he's going to kick ass.
He took a back suplex on the concrete, bro. I was like, yo, Stone Cold out here didn't half-ass it, bro.
You have to, like, compliment Kevin Owens.
Austin was definitely a good sport, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was definitely doing some good stuff.
There's a reason why they put so much stock and trust in Kevin Owens, because, like, he handles things like that so well, as any wrestler should. But he goes above and beyond with his opponents at making them really seem like they're on his level or they can do this still. Depending on who it is, Kevin Owens he is what he has to be for whoever he's facing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Well put.
Yep.
The first match of WrestleMania Sunday. This is Jeff's people. First match was RK Bro, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle defending the Raw Tag titles against Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis, and the Street Profits, Montez and Angelo.
Yeah,
Gordon Dawkins.
I was watching the product mainly just for RK Bro. I'm not even on front.
Triple threat tag team match. In the closing moments after an evenly contested match between the three teams, Dawkins performed a suicide dive on Otis outside the ring. Ford attempted a From the Heavens on Orton. However, Riddle performed an RKO on Ford. Orton then performed an RKO on Gable, who was midair to retain the titles. Following the match, RK Bro and the Street Profits shared a drink alongside recent WWE signee. Oh no, here we go again. I didn't realize he was going to be in this. What actually, RK Bro won, and that's the end of that.
I did. RK Bro and Street Profits, they had drink, they like, grab cold ones and stuff. That's it.
That's it. That's all that really happened there.
Drink it in, man.
I don't remember Bobby Lashley facing Omos though.
What?
Oh, shoot, I forgot. Wait, you know what?
What?
Bobby versus Omos, because I think MVP turned its back on Bobby and stuff. It was something going on.
Yeah, and that's when he started, going with Omos.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Omos dominated Lashley almost throughout the entire match. In the closing moments, Lashley performed a vertical suplex and 2 spears on Omos to win the match, ending Omos' undefeated streak. I want to go back and watch. I don't remember Bobby Lashley beating Omos, but I want to watch it.
Yeah, it did happen.
I must have like went to pee or something and missed that, or I don't know what happened.
You probably did. Because like I'm
Took a
thinking
bathroom break.
with just like that match, it's just like we know who's gonna win. And this is like a big moment for Bobby, I guess. I don't know, but that's just like a
And
pattern.
Third match of Sunday's WrestleMania Night 2, Sami Zayn faced Johnny Knoxville in an Anything Goes match. Good old
That's
Johnny
everything.
Knoxville spot.
That's entertaining, to be honest. I'm not gonna front. The whole Jackass crew, some of the Jackass crew popped in during this match.
Yeah, I saw Wee Man. He performed a body slam on Sami Zayn. It says here too. I don't remember that part, but I believe it.
Yeah, I think something happened because there was like a whole lot of stuff that they pulled out.
Oh, the large mousetrap spot. I forgot about that. That's how this
Yeah,
ends.
that's how it ended.
He gets the large mousetrap.
That like had Johnny Knoxville won.
He just had him pinned under a big ass mousetrap. That's one way to do it.
Like, dude, this is so goofy, but I love it.
Man, Texas never disappoints.
No.
Also, we had women's tag title defended on Sunday's WrestleMania Sunday. Queen Zelina and Carmella defended against Sasha Banks and Naomi. And also Natalya and Shayna Baszler and Rhea and Liv Morgan, which was a popular tag team at the time. Rhea and Liv. Now look at where we're at.
Yeah, Rhea and Liv, that freaking gear that they were rocking and stuff.
In the end, Banks and Naomi performed a wheelbarrow double knee combo on Carmella to win the titles for the first time as a team. The first time for Naomi and a record-tying third time for Banks. This also marked Banks' first win at WrestleMania since making her WrestleMania debut at 32, same venue, ending her 6-loss streak. I didn't know she lost that many times.
Yeah, I didn't know
she's gonna get a win today.
Damn, she lost that much.
Now, this next match was a great one. I'm glad it got to happen before he left, and I'm glad I got to see the seeds be planted the night after WrestleMania for, of course, what we now know as the Judgment Day. And like, this was all where it started. This is where the Judgment Day got its birth from. Edge versus AJ Styles. Styles kicked Edge off the apron and into the steel steps, and as Styles attempted a springboard 450 splash on Edge, Edge raised his knees. Styles performed a suplex on Edge into a turnbuckle, performed a rack bomb on Edge for a near fall. Edge performed a DDT on Styles for a near fall. Lots of kickouts. Edge performed a power bomb on Styles. Styles performed a superplex from the top rope and followed up with a springboard 450 and a Styles clash, and still a near fall. This match, I remember this match being amazing. In the end, as Styles attempted a phenomenal forearm on Edge, Damian Priest emerged to momentarily distract Styles, allowing Edge to perform a spear on Styles to win the match. And following the match, Edge and Priest celebrated in victory, leading into the formation of the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a match.
Yeah, and Edge. One thing about Edge's interest was different compared to all of his other ones. Like, he just like sit on a throne and he just popped up, and then like it was completely opposite.
The next night, I remember seeing they hit the like spear sweep combo on AJ, and I was like, yo, this is something. I was kind of sad I didn't get to hear Edge's old theme music. I was listening to his new pre-Judgment Day Judgment Day theme music.
Yeah,
I've got to hear it a bunch of times since though, so null and void there.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was a good song.
Yeah, it was good. It's just whenever you want to, like, you're seeing Edge for the first time, you want to hear that.
You want to hear that, like, on this day, I see clearly. Then you want to hear that, but it was something else.
Yeah. Even then, got just on the subject of the WrestleMania match alone, it was a great WrestleMania match. Sixth match, Sheamus and Ridge Holland, accompanied by Pete Dunne, I'm not going to call him Butch, faced the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Outside the ring, Sheamus performed a brogue kick on Kingston. After that, Sheamus performed another brogue kick on Woods inside the ring. And then Ridge Holland got the win after hitting his move, the Northern Grit.
That was a little bit. That was like a little bit after Big E's injury, because Xavier Woods and Kofi, they were rocking the singlet for Big E.
Thank you.
We've gotten this one a lot longer than we thought, but it's all right. We're at our final main event. It's WrestleMania Sunday, WrestleMania 38.
Oh man, the main event.
Yeah, who else in it but Roman Reigns facing Brock Lesnar in the for the 10th time, but this is a winner takes all match, Universal and WWE title.
Oh god,
We already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happened. I could, again, this is like the Shawn Michaels Undertaker thing. I could read you the 3-paragraph breakdown of what goes on, but history has already shown itself as to what happened. This was a moment for Roman Reigns to beat Brock Lesnar again. And whenever you've watched that rivalry from the beginning up to that point, you understand why it's such a big deal. Because, for the first half of it, Brock Lesnar's beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. For the second half of it, Roman Reigns is crawled out the mud to show he's better. And even towards the end of it, Paul Heyman's like, I know who the real champion is. So,
yeah. In fact, okay, here's the thing. So personally, I did saw before. I think I saw Roman versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, the one that was in New Orleans. I was there on the film. I was there with a few of my friends, and we saw it, and it was just I think Roman got bloody. I was over there, and it was just dog, we've seen it so many times. It's just we left midway through the match. It's just we know who's gonna win. It's just it's too predictable.
At the end of this WrestleMania, at the end of the last Texas WrestleMania, we see Roman Reigns iconically holding up the Universal and WWE titles together. It's a shot that's many people's profile picture on Twitter to this day.
It's still
Yep.
Thank you.
So
hey, I want to say this: love him or hate him, acknowledge him or not, I'm glad to all hell it wasn't Brock Lesnar that won that and became the double champ. This could have been Brock Lesnar, guys. So maybe let's not be so hasty.
No. I mean, at least okay, Roman deserves that one, but it's this bloodline story that was going on. It's just it was getting better and better.
It's one of the best long-term stories in all of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a hell yeah.
I appreciate you guys going overtime with me. This went a lot longer than I thought it would, but still, we did it for Texas. This is Texas time.
Clock in for Texas overtime.
I think that just goes to show the note that goes in this whole show is everything's bigger in Texas, even this episode.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Already know.